JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. For the self-employed Schedule C filer that has no employees, can you get PPP and unemployment? Yes. Unemployment is just another word for PUA. You can get both. How? Why? Well, the first thing to note is that with PPP, it is a loan. When you file for forgiveness, then it becomes a loan that's no longer repayable. It has no tax effect. That's not income. PPP is not income. It says it straight in the law. CARES Act, and then as backed up in the Appropriations Act, it's clear that it's not income once again, and it has no tax effect. Never did for the self-employed. PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. There's pandemic emergency unemployment compensation. There's unemployment from the state, from the feds, from potentially other sources. The thing to note is that unemployment income for the self-employed is taxable to you. It is income. I'm sure you're aware of that. My point is that these are two separate programs. Now, for those that are concerned of double dipping, I appreciate that. But the thing to note is that the SBA came out at the end of January and indicated that PPP, we get to choose our covered period between 8 and 24 weeks, starting from the date that we get the disbursement. Now, for self-employed Schedule C filers, because that's all this video is meant for, many get concerned, and I appreciate it, that, well, they're getting PPP now, and then they're also getting unemployment now. So they're concerned with the overlap. The thing to note is that if you're in these unfortunate circumstances, and I'm assuming you're watching this video for good purpose, you need this money. PPP might run out. I don't want to panic you, but it could run out. Probably won't. I don't know. Who knows? You need to get the PPP. You need to get the unemployment. If that's what you need, if that's what you qualify for, then you go and get them. You don't need to look left. You don't need to look right. You don't need to ask anymore. You don't have to watch any more videos. What you need to do is go apply for the unemployment if you're still needing to. I'll put a link in the body of this video to the Department of Labor, U.S. Department of Labor website, that then you can find your state. And the reason I would do this is when you find your state, it's going to, hopefully it's meant to be a website that gives you all of the links to all of the state unemployment programs in your state. So you find your state, and the links that are going to pop up would be to all the types of unemployment, because the various types of unemployment, depending on your state, may be multiple ways that you have to apply for it. Now, can you get the EIDL? Yeah, you can get the loan because that's a loan. The EIDL grant's no longer available. But for PPP and PUA, you can get both. The PUA, okay, is running out. You're only going to get it for a finite amount of time. PPP, in essence, it's a covered period of 24 weeks. Now, for the self-employed, it's never meant to be, well, I'm getting this amount and it's supposed to last me 24 weeks. And unfortunately, there's just a lot of confusion, and rightfully so, because I don't think the SBA has been as clear cut with the self-employed as maybe they could have. And again, this is all for self-employed that don't have employees. Okay, I can only attack one issue at a time. But with that being said, when you look at the 24-week covered period for the self-employed, it's irrelevant, because your PPP amount, whether it's first draw or second draw, whether you got in 2020 or 21, or whenever you go to get a forgiveness, no matter what it is that you got for PPP, pick any time period that you would want, in the sense of you got it in 2020, you got it in 21, you thought it was PPP 1, then you thought it was PPP 2, then you thought it was first draw, then it was second draw. None of that matters. None of that matters. Because when you go to get PPP forgiveness, it's all the same. Okay? Which is just, it's a calculation. That's it. It's a calculation. So I'll put a playlist link in here to PPP forgiveness for the self-employed, because banks are still a little bit confused. You don't have to provide any documentation to back up your payroll as a self-employed, because you don't have payroll. I'm not talking about if you have employees. Okay? If you have employees, then you're going to have payroll for the employees. I'm talking about for the self-employed that don't have employees. Your calculation for forgiveness of the PPP is the same calculation as what you used if it was done properly to get PPP, which is Schedule C, line 31, divided by 12 times 2.5. All I'm saying is for those that still want to look left and right, still concerned, is it a double dip? What I'm telling you is the 24 weeks irrelevant, but even if you want to make it relevant, the unemployment at the federal level out of the Appropriations Act doesn't last 24 weeks. You're not going to double dip.